So what I encourage you is that, when it comes to powerlifting and everything, the most important thing about it isn't necessarily getting as strong as possible. I mean, a lot of the great parts about it is the community. So yeah, slow strong. I literally just came up with this today on my way. I decided that the S, the L, and the O stand for Strength Leadership Organization. So I think I'm going to stick with that for a little bit. It sounds kind of good. Definitely doesn't stand for San Luis Obispo. But we're a local group that me and a couple buddies started, I want to say about 4 years ago now. When did we met about 3 years ago? Four?
Yeah.
So, I probably started like a year and a half before that?
Yeah.
So geez, it's been like 5.5 years now. So one of my friends and I, my friend Dennis, we go to the gym together, push each other, try to get stronger. We went to our first powerlifting meet over in Bakersfield and saw that these other gyms and everything had teams and groups of people. And we were just two guys showing up and, lifting. And we were like, man, there's nothing like that over here in the Central Coast. So we looked around, tried to find a powerlifting gym. This is before I even started into strongman, and we were like, there's nothing here that focuses on powerlifting. So we decided, well, let's just start something. Posted something on the internet that we were going to have a meeting at Iron Jungle up in Paso Robles. Had like 8 people show up to the first meeting, then had another one down here at my buddy Robbie, who owns Headstrong Fit, that I know many of you guys have been doing, in his driveway, where we had like 20-something people. And then it just kept growing, and every single month we would do a different team workout at different gyms throughout the county, but most of us would all get together and train in crews at our different gyms because we have people from Paso all the way to Santa Maria, and the truth is, you're not going to drive from Santa Maria to Atascadero to train every single day. It's just a waste of gas or something. But so right now we still have people stretched all throughout the county. In fact, we've grown to the point now where our guys in Santa Maria have created their own little fun group called Santa Maria Strong to grow their sports down there, but they're still part of our large organization. Lately, we haven't done as many group workouts out in the general, like bouncing around between gyms. I'd like to start doing that again so that we can post more public things. A lot of our workouts now are all at my barn in Santa Margarita, which a few of you guys have been to. I encourage you guys to come and check it out. We've got a lot of really great equipment. But yeah, we can even make it on a Sunday or a different day than when the Slow Strong crew trains, because once it's probably about the size of this room, right? Maybe a little bit slightly bigger, but it's only about this much space, and we pack a lot of equipment in there. So when you get a whole bunch of people, it ends up being a little bit overwhelming. But not only do we have the inside of the barn, we've got my whole alleyway and outside where I have all the strongman equipment. So, I know most of you guys are focused on powerlifting, but strongman can really be beneficial to help your powerlifting. Story with me, when I first started doing strongman and trying Atlas stones, it took me about a year to get from a 500 pound to a 600 pound deadlift. I started doing strongman, doing stone work and stuff. Within 5 months, I went from 600 to 700. So using those other exercises ended up benefiting me a ton as far as my strength, and I think you guys could see a lot of payoff, incorporating some of that stuff, and, love to help teach you guys some of those movements and help you out if anyone's interested. Just let me know. Jacob trains there 4 days a week with our multiply/single-ply lifting crew and everything. But Jacob did the strongman competition we put on at the Mid-State Fair this past summer and did really well. It's only, how much do you weigh?
I'm 170 now, but I was 150 at the fair.
He was 150 at the fair going up. He was in the 200 pound and under weight class. And the guy who ended up winning the weight class was like right around 200 pounds. He ended up taking third and even won one of the events and everything. So pretty cool. He was training for that. Now he's focusing more on powerlifting, but super, awesome experience to have if any of you guys are interested in checking it out. Next thing that I want to talk about is just really quick, kind of some of my experience in how I've grown to now be putting on events at the Mid-State Fair, which took years to be able to get into, doing stuff at, Fit Expos and everything, and it's not about how strong I am, and that's not what got me there. literally before I ever did my first strongman competition, I volunteered at one of Ode Haugen's competitions, who's this old Norwegian super strong Viking dude down in Thousand Oaks. And after volunteering there, meeting some of the strongest men in the world like Martins Lisus and stuff, because they saw me volunteering and helping out and being willing to load weights and put the work in and not just wanting to compete and try to win, and they saw me giving back, that was able to get me in with that community. And then volunteering at other local meets, that's how I became state chair for Strongman Corporation. And now this coming weekend, I'm going to be the scorekeeper at the Pro Arnold Strongman in Santa Monica, and I'm going to get to meet Arnold Schwarzenegger, Hafthor Bjornsson, Brian Shaw, and all these people. None of that has anything to do with my strength or my successful weightlifting career. That's all because of me volunteering and giving back to the strength sports community and trying to grow those sports. So what I encourage you is that, when it comes to powerlifting and everything, the most important thing about it isn't necessarily getting as strong as possible. I mean, a lot of the great parts about it is the community. So I guess, probably like to ask you guys, what's the best part about powerlifting to some of you? Does anyone have any things that they love most about it?
Just feeling badass.
Okay. Anyone else?
It's a really supportive community.
Yeah. I remember last year at our meet, Jess, thank you for volunteering as an example. Jess got red lighted on her third deadlift attempt at the meet and was pretty visibly upset, but had, so many members of the team coming around to support her, and it was really cool. Like, that's the thing that, if you get old and get broken down or something and can't compete in the sport anymore, and you don't have the same numbers that you used to, you're gonna still have those friends in that community. And that's one of the things that, I want to talk to you guys, being younger and new to the sport is so important to really embrace that. Kind of one of the things that I see, I don't follow all of you guys on social media, but some of the ones that I do follow, it seems like a lot of you guys work out on your own. How many people work out on their own here? Every single person here. None of you guys work out and cruise together?
We just yell at each other from across the gym.
Okay.
But we don't like working in because we're all taking 15 minutes for our sets.
Oh
We don't like changing breaks. And this is why everyone else hates us.
So everyone else hates you because you all want your own individual rack.
I'm going to defer that to the president.
We're working on it.
No.
I'm trying to call people out on that. But,
Call people here out?
yeah, I'm taking too long and not being courteous to other members of the rec. It's better than it was last year. I'll just say that. Last year it was kind of looked the other way. This year I'm actually trying to make an effort to help people. If you want to take 5-10 minutes of rest, that's cool, but you gotta work in with somebody at least if you're gonna do that.
The other thing is if you guys work in together, that encouragement and that teamwork, that's part of what helps you grow together as a team. You guys are a powerlifting club, but you're also a powerlifting team, right?
Mm-hmm.
You guys plan to go to meets and compete as a team. If you're working in together and watching closely, you guys can help see how everyone's doing on each of your lifts, so that when someone's oh, I want to add this much weight or go for this extra rep, you can tell them yes or no because if they're going to get it or not. I mean, half the people on our crew, especially some of the ones I coach, will always want that extra rep, and I'll already know when they're going to miss it because it's just I'm so comfortable and know how their bodies work. And even if it's just a crew of 3 people working in together, I know it seems like a pain in the ass to unload and load weights, but your strength levels, it's okay to unload and load weights between sets, or maybe have one person go really quick, and then while you're working maybe some of your accessories or whatever, the next person goes. But I really encourage you guys that one of the best parts about the sport is working together, and you're going to get a lot stronger working together. I mean, especially if you have someone on the team that is around a similar strength level as you, and you guys can push each other, it's going to pay off big time. I've made my biggest strength gains when I've had workouts where I'm kind of competing with someone. So, I know it's really nice having your own squat rack or deadlift platform and working out on your own, but try to work a little bit more together and schedule time where small crews of you are lifting. It's really beneficial. How many of you guys work out at the rec center regularly? Okay, good. I have not been in the new one since I graduated Cal Poly. They actually finished building it the year after I graduated by seems like it's pretty nice based on all the videos I see. So, and then a lot of you guys go to Headstrong on Saturdays, I believe. Cool, awesome. Yeah, I just encourage you guys to work together. That's a big thing. It's going to help you guys a lot. The next thing will be, as far as the giving back, how I talked about as far as volunteering. There's not that many opportunities in this local area because right now we're only putting on, a meet a year and a strongman competition a year, but we're hoping to expand that, doing multiple meets and multiple competitions. We're always looking for help as far as someone to take tickets at the door. People will sell shirts. We always need spotters and loaders. I don't see, is Alvin still here?
Not. I've talked to him recently, but he hasn't come.
So he was a spotter loader at our meet last year, and that's a paid position. You can make a little extra money. I think he made like $125 a day to do that. And then, it's like when you do that, you get to meet the judges, all these people, and it helps you build that community and network, and then allows you to move your way up into these other organizations. Who here wants to have their full-time job when they grow up be powerlifting?
Somewhat related. I mean, I want to keep it related. I don't know if it will be like.
No. This is good. But this is actually good. I was expecting a different result because that's something.
Expecting everyone's hand to go up.
Yeah, I was expecting everyone's hand. I wish my full-time job was powerlifting. I mean, come on, that would be awesome. Yeah, the truth is, it's not realistic. It's a small sport. Like, to be honest, compared to football or baseball or basketball or anything, no one really cares about powerlifting unless they're one of your friends. I mean, if I go to a work function, people ask me how my bodybuilding is going, and I'm like, really? But that happens, right? People just lump it all into bodybuilding. That's how small of a world that we live in. So when we take ourselves too seriously and act like jackasses, and are like mean to other people, it spreads really quickly because it's a very freaking small world. And the truth is, if like Lord Elliott in Bakersfield, who's our meet director, gets a good impression of you, then you're going to have opportunities later on if you're representing yourself well. So it's just something to keep in mind. Always be encouraging to your fellow athletes, working together as a team, and finding ways to give back to the community can really benefit you. Like I said, I'm going to get to meet some of my icons this weekend, not because of my strength, but literally because of what I've given back to the community. I do all this stuff with Slow Strong, and our entire team puts on these events for nothing. We don't make any money off of it. It's not a profitable business. We do it because we care about the sports and we want to give back. I mean, some of you guys, actually a few of you guys were at the fair last. Who came to the fair? Jess, Jacob was competing. You were there.
I was there.
Compared to a powerlifting meet, how much of a bigger production is that? There's a whole lot of stuff.
Well, I don't really think it's necessarily a fair comparison because there's also a giant fair going on. So it's like people.
I'm saying as far as the amount of equipment and stuff, because you got.
There's way more equipment that you guys need.
We had to rent a giant truck. It was 2 months before. I'm sitting there pouring concrete molds of Atlas stones. We're building all this equipment and everything, all to put on this cool event that's at a fair with lights and everything and looks really cool. None of that's for money or for fame or anything. I'm in the back, not even, being really, no one knows that I'm even there, but I do it because I care about it. And people in the sport then appreciate that, just like I appreciate my buddy John who comes up to announce. He's literally announcing the Arnold Strongman Classic, the biggest competition in Strongman this year, at the Arnold, and he comes and announces our fair because we get along and we're friends, and he does it for free. So that community, as you guys grow up, beyond just trying to get stronger, obviously that's a big priority, realize that community is a big part of any of these strength sports. And that, when you get older, that's going to be the part that you really love and care about, and you're going to make some lifelong friends out of this. So that's kind of what I want to talk about today. That was kind of the topic of the day, but if anyone has any questions for me, I'll open it up, anything at all in general. Come on, someone's got a question.
Ask a question.
It can be anything.
How long have you been training strongman / powerlifting?
Since 2015, maybe.
Including powerlifting?
Yeah.
How long have you been lifting?
I played football in high school. So in high school, obviously, we did a lot of weight training. And that's the funny thing is how people will be like, oh, I just started doing strongman and I'm like really good at it. And it's like, no, if you played football, you were doing strongman training for that entire time. Because you're trying to get stronger, you're pushing people, it's the same thing. Mm-hmm. Took college off pretty much to drink and party. Obviously one of the very fun parts of college, so I didn't work out at all through college, except for occasionally when I wanted to like lose a little weight, get sexier for the girls or whatever, and that would last for like a month, and then it was like, okay, never mind. When I got out of college, started worked at a job up in Paso that was a manufacturing plant where I was a manufacturing engineer, and it was a very lazy work environment. Everybody sat and put stuff together all day, lots of overweight people. Really good people, met a lot of wonderful people there, but just not a great environment, so started eating fast food and all this crap all the time. Irony here is that I got up to 281 pounds and knew I needed to make a change because that was too heavy. Funny thing is I'm 300 pounds now. But so I started working out. I had a good basis of working out, had really good strength and conditioning coaches in high school and stuff, but hadn't worked out for years. Thing I decided to do first was actually sign up for a triathlon. But I strength trained while doing that, and one of the nice things about being new to lifting weights is you can get stronger and lose weight at the same time, which later on becomes a lot harder to do. But when you're first working out, you can get stronger doing pretty much anything, which is cool. Did the triathlon, then started doing some Spartan races because that was a little more fun. Then realized, I'm never going to be great at this. I don't really have the build to be a marathon runner, running and climbing over walls all the time.
Really?
Yeah. This is not that.
We still believe in you, Adam.
And started looking at numbers on on some powerlifting websites and stuff, and I saw that I could be somewhat competitive at this. Went and did my first meet. It all happened really fast. Did my first meet in February. I think it was just a push pull. Did pretty well, but the thing is with local meets, the tough thing is to gauge, because if you win a gold medal, it could be just because there's only 2 people in your weight class or whatever. The best lifter thing is a little bit more of a bigger prize to go after. Did that, did fine. I think that was the first time I pulled 600 pounds on deadlift. I can't remember what my bench was, but and then I somehow discovered strongman right around the same time, going up to Santa Cruz Strength. That's where I'm from and where my family is. I went and got a personal training session with their coach there, Clay, and he was like, hey, you should try this strongman thing. It's one other thing that I'd encourage. No matter who your coach is or how biased you are, if you travel to an area and there's the opportunity to get a training session from someone that's really knowledgeable and everything, go do it. Even if you're going to disagree with some of the things they say, there might be that one little piece of information that helps skyrocket your lifting career. I always try to take advantage of going to new places if I'm traveling, so I encourage you guys to do the same, because a lot of different things work to help you get stronger, and there's a lot of really strong, awesome, cool people out there throughout the country in this community. Signed up for my first strongman meet in April of that year in Fresno. Took dead last. I thought I was really strong, and then I took 6th out of 6 or something. But that was really motivating. That was right when we started Slow Strong. So I'd done those 2. We started Slow Strong, grew the organization. Then in August, we went and did a meet in Bakersfield. That was our first team meet. We won the team award. I won Best Lifter at that one. And then after that, went to Santa Cruz in October. And then that next year in 2017 was when I won California Strongest Man, which I have no idea still to this day how it worked out that I won that. I know exactly what happened, but it's a giant competition with 30 plus people. It's the strongest dudes, not only in the state, but the guy who took second to me was Canada's strongest man the year before, so it's a really big competition. And I showed up, and everybody is 6'3" to 6'8", over 300 pounds. And I showed up going it'd be really nice to podium. And my buddies that came with me, they're like, maybe shoot for top 10? I was like, okay. Luckily there were some more athletic events. I was quicker and everything. That's one of the things I love about strongman is anything can happen the day of, because the events are so dynamic, and there's certain speed aspects or for reps aspects. One of my buddies, so on the tire flip event, I had 2 friends competing with me. One tore his bicep on the tire, and then literally next guy was my other buddy. He's flipping it, and then just gives up. Tire falls down, dislocates his knee. Oh. It's also a dangerous sport. That's why we sign waivers. So they both get rushed off to the hospital. Well, one to the VA, one to the hospital. So then I'm like left there because my buddies, they went with them, so they'd have someone in the hospital. And I remember just waiting the whole thing and like none of my friends being there with me. Luckily, I had met a lot of other people in the community, like some of the people from the training hall down south and everything, that were super pumped for me because the guy from Canada, no one really liked, and it was like neck and neck. And I came back. Essentially, what happened was I was in third place going into the final event, and I loaded all 5 of the Atlas stones, and the 2 guys in front of me didn't load them, so that was able to get me the win. So I did have some people that were, pretty pumped, but it was funny because I was sitting there and all my friends were hurt and injured. And I came back to the Airbnb we had, and like, guys, guess what? None of them believed me until I like showed them the trophy and everything. It was pretty funny. But yeah, so that's how long ago I got into it, and kind of a little history of some of that background. Any other questions? Yes.
Can you train for strongman in a commercial gym?
Yes. It's not as ideal as obviously being able to use the actual implements, but there's a ton of methods that you can use. I did it for a while when I was working up in Paso before the only reason that there's strongman equipment in this county is because I started making and buying it all. So when I started, I was training in a commercial gym. You do stuff like you'd stack up a bunch of weight plates if you want, and then put them on a 10-pound plate, hold them to your chest, and then essentially act like they're an Atlas stone. That would be like an example of the method. My friend Cale Beck, who does startingstrongman.com, just wrote an entire ebook. I think it's only like $10. That's all about training strongman in a commercial gym, and it's really good. Has a lot of really valuable information, but there's all sorts of ways and different ways to implement strongman training in a commercial gym.
Did you get kicked out?
Not the rec center. Maybe Planet Fitness. I think it would depend on the movement, right? I mean, if you're you see people doing farmers carries all the time in commercial gyms, for example. I think as long as you're not abusing the equipment, and it comes back to that whole respect attitude. If you're being respectful to the gym people and like nice, I don't see any reason why they kick you out unless you're being an asshole. But yeah, hit me up and I can make some suggestions if you're interested in that. Okay. Probably it's my personal Instagram at Wickham Strength, at Slow Strong is our team one, but I'm pretty much the one that runs it. I'm also on Facebook, and you can just go to the Slow Strong website. My emails are on there and everything too. But love to help any of you guys out if you're interested in anything like that. You had one?
Yeah. When would you be willing to have us up to the barn if we wanted to bring a group up there on like a Sunday or something? We don't want to interfere with your team's practices.
I'm gone this weekend. Let me talk to the wife and just double check. Possibly next weekend or the weekend after would be cool.
Okay.
Do you guys have Martin Luther King Jr. Day off this Monday?
Yes.
You do? Okay. Yeah. Just the whole being married thing. I need to clear my schedule with her. Yeah. Let's just talk about it. But sometimes it looks.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Some Sunday or usually we'll work good.
All right. Just out of curiosity, who would be interested in going up? He's also got powerlifting equipment there, so if you don't feel like doing strongman, although you should, you can just get your regular workout in. So that's a good amount of people. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Any questions? All right. Well, yeah. You guys have any questions? I'll let you guys know as soon as the meet's actually up on USPA for people to get signed up. Follow us on social media, and we'll be posting when we're going to do a mock meet if you guys want to practice. But hopefully, we can schedule some time to meet us up to the barn and train on a non-raining weekend because the rain really impacts the ability to do stuff in the place. Right now, the outbreak is small. Yeah. Thank you guys for your time.